This is an update for July 29th, 2013 on the situation in Syria. First place I'm going to be talking about today is the city of Homs. Reports are emerging today that the Al Khalidiyya district has been totally overrun by SAA forces. Yesterday I reported that 80% of the district was in their control, and now it seems that the entire district has been taken over by the SAA and all rebel forces have retreated. There was some reports a few hours ago that there were still some clashes on the southern and northern edges of the district, but I think those clashes were probably just cover for rebel forces that were retreating from the district. So it's been reported, by the way, by mainstream media everywhere, Reuters, BBC, Telegraph. There's pictures, there's video everywhere, so I pretty much call it 100% confirmed. So that leaves parts of Bab Hud, parts of the old city, parts of Jurat al-Shaya, and parts of Al-Qusur districts in rebel hands. And that would leave things pretty much on track to finish, like I predicted yesterday, in about 2 weeks or less. Because there's really no point in the rebels trying to hold on to these remaining districts now. Even if they had the men and the ammunition, I think they know that there's no sense in it, because there's two situations the rebels could be in right now. Either they are totally surrounded and all their supply routes have been cut off and they're slowly running out of ammunition and food, or they still have some tunnels coming out of Al-Qusur neighborhood here, leading out here, which they're getting supplies from. But in either case, those tunnels are going to be found eventually, and the rebels are going to become trapped in these districts. So it would make more sense for them to retreat, regroup somewhere else, and try to come back another day, maybe take their fight somewhere else. So with that said, I expect in the coming days and coming weeks that the rebels will attempt some sort of rearguard action in Al-Qusur neighborhood or in Jurat al-Shaya. I don't know if they'll be able to get out of Bab Hud in the old city, unless again they have some tunnels leading into these other two neighborhoods. But they'll form some sort of rearguard action, try to hold off the SAA as cover for their retreating forces, as they did in Al-Qusur. So that is the situation in Homs city. The other place I want to talk about today is southeastern Aleppo. The town of Tal Hassel has been reported by a few sources, most notably the SOHR on their Facebook page has put up some details in a video in which they say that Kurdish forces have been clashing with Islamist forces around the town. Now if we zoom in, we can see here's the town Tal Hassel, and the reports are that the clashes are on the eastern parts of Tal Hassel, and that Kurdish civilians in the town have been fleeing the fighting. So just to give you an idea of what the front lines look like here in southeastern Aleppo, south of Tal Hassel is the town of Al Safira. Back in February, you may remember there was some heavy clashes in the town when Islamists moved in and captured most of the town. And then they tried to push on and take the military base in which the SAA were holed up, but they took some heavy casualties and were forced to retreat and just hold on to the town itself. Later on, the SAA managed to open up these southern roads here into the military base, and they were able to reinforce their garrison there. And then as part of that movement, they were able to move up north and take this town here, Tel Shageb, in March, and that opened up supply routes to Aleppo International Airport, which was under heavy siege at the time. So you can pretty much consider this road here that runs through Tal Hassel and Tal Arn is pretty much the front line, with the SAA on the left hand side and the Islamists on the right hand side. Now when I talk about front lines in Syria, that's not a totally accurate description to give, because The rebels and the Islamists have proven themselves very adept at infiltrating behind enemy lines because of their use of tunnels and other methods. And they tend to pop up in places where they shouldn't pop up. So these front lines are not like front lines in most wars where it's a hard, definite front line. They're fluid front lines, they're porous, there's gaps in them. But that is the best way to describe it at the moment. So these three towns here are pretty much on the front line of this front. So just to summarize then, the clashes in Tal Hassel are going on between Jabhat al-Nusra, which are the Islamists, and Jabhat al-Akrad, which are a Kurdish faction, armed faction that is aligned with the YPG being the armed wing of the PYD being the main political party for the Kurds in Syria. And so that's the situation in southeastern Aleppo. That's the update for July 29th, 2013. If you have any suggestions, any comments, anything at all you want to say, just post it down below in the comments section and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Hopefully I'll have another video up tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.